This is the exact AI tool that made building an app without coding all possible, and what I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about app development. As you can see in this screenshot, there's proof that apps like this are generating over $100,000 per month on the App Store. The Fat Secret Calorie Counter helps users track their daily nutrition and reach their fitness goals with a comprehensive food database. It's one of the most downloaded health apps available, and today I'm gonna show you exactly how to recreate this exact type of app using nothing but AI. And here's what's crazier. I used only one AI tool to build this entire application. No programming knowledge required, no design skills needed, just simple prompts that tell the AI exactly what you want your app to do, so that by the end of this full course, you are gonna know the exact steps to not only build your app, but also publish it to the App Store and start monetizing from day one. So I'm gonna walk you through every single step of the process, from the initial AI prompt to seeing your app live in the App Store. Now, this is the most comprehensive tutorial on building apps with AI that you'll find anywhere. So if you've ever wanted to create your own app, but you always thought you needed years of coding experience, this video will completely change that assumption. So let's dive right in and build your first AI-powered app together. So let's start with Base 44, where we'll be creating our actual app. So we'll open up Base 44 and start a new project. So for this walkthrough, we're going to be making a simple calorie tracker app. Nothing too fancy, just something that lets our users set calorie goals and then add food items with their respective macros. And you can prompt Base 44 with something like this. Please create a simple calorie tracker application. Make it a mobile responsive app with a modern, sleek design. Have the user be able to set their target calories and add food items and set their respective calories and macros. After entering that prompt, Base 44 takes care of the heavy lifting for us. And within a few moments, our app will be ready to go. And when it's done, we're gonna open it up and then explore how everything works. As you can see here on your screen, I'm gonna start by setting my target calories and macros. Then I'm gonna add a few food items to test it out. And you'll notice how smoothly it updates and then tracks the data that I input. And it's already doing exactly what we needed it to do. And just like that, we've created a working calorie tracker, right? And that's all we need from Base 44 for now. Because now that the app is up and running in Base 44, the next step is to get it ready for Despia. Now this part is all about making sure that our app runs smoothly later on when we start the publishing process. Base 44 is great for building apps quickly, but it comes with its own SDK and authentication system that can sometimes interfere once we move the project to Despia. So before anything else, we do need to clean that out. So we'll go back to our Base 44 project and open up a new prompt, and we'll type something in like this. Please remove the native Base 44 authentication scripts and remove the Base 44 SDK and related files in the project. Please be thorough and make sure not to break any functionality. Make the data handling of the calorie tracker all local. Do not use any database. Now, usually it only takes a few seconds to correct, but before exporting the app, there is one last adjustment to make. Now, by default, Base 44 apps often require users to log in before accessing the app. And Despia cannot process builds that are locked behind login screens, so we're gonna need to disable that. So here on the upper right corner of the Base 44 dashboard, click Publish, then look for the Require Login option. Click Edit, turn that feature off, and then save your changes. After disabling login, publish the app as usual and test it again to confirm that everything still works fine. And when that's done, we'll copy the public project link. We're gonna need that in the next step when we set everything up in Despia. So at this point though, our Base 44 app is fully prepared and ready to move on to the next phase. Okay, so after finishing the app in Base 44, the next step is to set it up in Despia. Now this is where your project starts taking form as a real mobile app that can be published to the App Store. Despia makes this part simple. It converts your web app into an installable iOS or Android app without needing Xcode or any other advanced setups. So let's go to Despia's website and create a new app project. We can name it anything that we like. And for this walkthrough, we'll call it NutriTrack app because why not? In the web app start URL field, we'll paste the public project link that we copied earlier from base 44. Now that link connects Despia directly to our working app. And once we've entered it, we'll create the project to move forward. Inside the dashboard here, we're going to scroll down the left sidebar until we find app icon and branding. This is where we are going to upload our visual assets. Under iOS icon, we're going to upload our app icon in PNG format with a 1024 by 1024 resolution. Now this will be the image our users see on their home screens once the app is installed. Next, we'll go to the splash screen layout section and we'll upload our splash screen here. It should be a GIF file, also 1024 by 1024 in size. Now this quick animation is what appears when your app first opens up, giving it a clean and professional touch. Okay, so if you've ever tried publishing an app before, you know that the setup process with Apple can be a bit tricky. Now the good thing is Despia makes most of it much easier. We just need to connect our Apple developer account once and Despia handles the rest from there. Before you can publish your app, you do need to connect your Apple developer account to Despia. Now this step is required for building and submitting your app to the App Store. Now we have to keep in mind here that this only works if you have a paid Apple developer account, which does cost $99 per year. And without that subscription, you won't be able to link your account or move forward with the publishing process. All right, so inside your Despia project, look to the right side panel here and then find Build History. Click the Deploy Build button to open the deployment sidebar. Now this is where we are going to connect our Apple developer account and then fill in all the details needed for submission. We'll scroll down until you can see Build Configuration here, then click on Development Team and select Add Team. Now doing this opens the Connect with App Store Connect panel where we're going to enter our account credentials. You'll need 3 main pieces of information from your Apple developer account. First, the development team ID, account issuer ID, and your API key with its P8 file. Now to find your development team ID, we'll just go to your Apple developer account resources page here. And here we're going to see your team ID in the upper right corner of the dashboard. Copy it, then go back to Despia and then just paste it into the corresponding field. Next, we're going to need the account issuer ID. Go to the App Store Connects API page. And here we'll see the issuer ID displayed at the top of the page. We're going to copy that and then just paste it back into Despia as well. Finally, we're going to set up our API key. On that same App Store Connect API page, create a new key. You can name it anything that you like. So again, for this one, we'll name it NutriTrack Despia. Assign it to the App Manager role, generate the key, and then copy the key ID. Download the P8 key file that's provided after generation. Now back here in Despia, we're going to paste the key ID into its field and upload the P8 key file. After entering everything, click the purple Link with Apple button to connect your account. And when the linking process is done, we'll return to the Build Configuration panel, and then we're going to set your development team to the account you just linked. And that's it. Your Apple developer account is now successfully connected to Despia. Now in the next step coming up, we're going to go through the build requirements to make sure everything's ready before submission. Now before submitting the app, there are a few setup tasks to take care of inside Despia and your Apple developer account. Now this step is mostly about connecting both platforms correctly so that your app can be built and sent to App Store Connect. Now it might look a bit technical at first, but once you go through it, and I'll be there for you, you'll see that most of the steps just follow the same old pattern. On the right-hand side of your Despia dashboard, you're going to see several different identifier targets. Now these need to match with identifiers you'll create in your Apple developer account. And the goal here is to make sure that Despia and Apple are aligned on your app's identity and permissions. We'll start with the app bundle, which serves as the main identifier for your app. So go to your Apple developer account identifiers page. And once we're there, click Add Identifier, choose App ID, and press Continue. And the next step, select App as the type. And when the form appears, you'll see a field for bundle ID. Copy the bundle ID from Despia and then paste it into that field. Now under description, type your app's name. Again, for this one, we'll name it NutriTrack app. Next, scroll through the list of capabilities and turn on the ones needed for this app. App Attest, App Groups, Associated Domains, Health Kit, iCloud including CloudKit support, push notifications with broadcast capability, sign in with Apple, and yes, Siri. Now these capabilities tell Apple which features your app will use, from handling notifications to accessing user data securely. After that, click Continue, then Register. Now you'll see your new NutriTrack app identifier listed on the identifiers page. That part completes the setup for the app bundle section. So the next target we'll set up is OneSignal, which handles the push notification functionality for our app. And just like before, we'll create a new identifier in the Apple developer account. But this time, it'll be linked specifically to OneSignal. And Despia, copy the push bundle ID under the OneSignal target section. Then head on over back to your Apple developer account identifiers page and create a new identifier. Choose App ID, then select App as a type, and when prompted, paste the bundle ID you copied from Despia into the bundle ID field. Now under description, write your app's name followed by OneSignal. So in my case, it would be NutriTrack app OneSignal. After filling up those details, we'll scroll through the list of capabilities and enable app groups, associated domains, and push notifications with broadcast capabilities. Now these allow our app to handle notifications and then group them properly once they're live. And then when that's done, we'll click Continue and then Register to finalize this identifier. After creating the app ID, the next step is to create its app group. So we'll go back to the identifiers page, create a new identifier, and this time select App Group. In the identifier field, return to Despia and copy the push app group ID, then paste it in here. Under description, again, write your app's name followed by OneSignal app group. And once everything looks correct, click Continue and then Register. And now that the app group has been created, it needs to be linked to the main OneSignal app ID. And to do this, find the OneSignal identifier you just created, open it up, and then scroll down to the app group's capability. Click Configure, then select the app group you just made, the one labeled NutriTrack app OneSignal app group. And then save our changes, and that's it. We've successfully created the OneSignal identifier, its related app group, and connected the two together. All right, now the app clip target follows nearly the same process as the previous sections, but with a few small changes. So we'll go back to our identifiers page in our Apple developer account and create a new identifier. Choose App ID, but this time select App Clip when the next page appears. In the parent app ID field, choose your main bundle ID, which in this case is NutriTrack app. For the product name, simply type Clip, then click Continue. And just like before, we'll add the details and enable the required capabilities. In the description field, write your app's name followed by app clip. So for example, NutriTrack app clip. Then enable the following capabilities: app groups, associated domains, and push notifications. After selecting these, click Continue, then Register to finish creating the app clip identifier. Next up, we'll create an app group for this target. So we'll go back to the identifiers page again and create a new app group identifier. In the description field, type your app's name followed by app clip app group. Then in the identifier field, return to Despia and copy the clip app group ID, paste it into the field, and then click Continue and Register. After creating the app group, it needs to be linked to the app clip identifier. And in order to make that happen, first open the NutriTrack app clip identifier, scroll down to the app group section, and click Configure. Inside that menu, select the app group you just created and save your changes. Now, right now, the app clip and its app group are both set up and connected. And we can now move on to our next requirement. The next setup is for the share target, which lets your app handle shared content from other apps. Now, this step is very similar to what we've already done before, just with fewer capabilities to enable. Now, start by copying the bundle ID for the share target from Despia. Then go back to your Apple Developer Identifiers page and create a new identifier. Choose App ID, select App, and when prompted, paste the copied bundle ID into the bundle ID field. In the description field, type your app's name followed by share target. Now, once that's done, scroll down and enable app groups as the only capability, then click continue and register. After creating the app ID, the next step is to create the app group for it. So go back to Despia, copy the group ID, then return to the identifiers page and create a new app group identifier. In the description field, write your app's name followed by share target app group. In the identifier field, paste the copied ID, then click register to save it. Now, once the app group is created, it needs to be linked to the share target identifier. So open the share target ID you just made, scroll down to the app groups and click configure. Find the newly created share target app group, select it and save your changes. All right, so the last target to set up is the smart widget. And the process here is almost identical to the previous sections we've already done. So we'll start by copying the smart widget bundle ID from Despia. Then go back to your Apple Developer Identifiers page and create a new identifier. Choose App ID, select App, and paste the copied bundle ID into the bundle ID field. In the description field, write your app's name followed by widget. Now, for example, NutriTrack app widget. And once that's filled in, enable app groups, then register and save the new ID. After the base ID has been created, it's time to make its app group. So go back to Despia, copy the group ID, and then return to your identifiers page to create a new app group identifier. Paste the copied ID into the identifier field, and in the description field, just write your app's name followed by widget app group. So again, for this example, that would be NutriTrack app widget app group. And once everything is finally set up, register it to save your changes. And then finally, we'll link this new group to the widget identifier. So open up the widget ID you just created, scroll down to app groups and click configure. From there, just select the widget app group that we just registered, then save your changes. And that pretty much completes the setup for the smart widget target, and all of our identifiers and app groups are now properly connected. Okay, that was a ton of work, but after creating all the identifiers and app groups, the final step is to bring everything together under your main app bundle. Now, to make that part work, we're going to start by heading back to the Apple Developer Identifiers page, and then find our main bundle ID, which should be the first one that we created, the NutriTrack app. Open it up, then scroll down until you reach App Groups, click Edit, and in the window that appears, select all 4 groups that we just made earlier. So that's OneSignal, App Clip, Share, and Widget. After checking all of them, save your changes. And now it's time to switch over to App Store Connect to create the actual app project. So we're going to navigate to the app section and click New App to begin. From here, choose iOS as a platform, then fill out the required details. For the name, type in your app's name, and in our case for this video, NutriTrack app, and set the language to English. Select the main bundle ID we created earlier, and for the SKU, simply use your app's name in all caps. Once those details are set, click Create to finish setting up the new app. Now, if the name that you entered is already taken, don't worry, it's okay, it happens all the time. We can easily make it more unique by adding something descriptive like NutriTrack app Calorie Tracker. Because with so many apps on the store, it is completely normal to make small adjustments to your app's name during submission. Now, after the app has been created, we're gonna open the app information page here. Here, we'll find our Apple ID listed near the top. Now copy that value, then head on over back to Despia. On the right side panel here, we'll scroll down until you find the App Store App ID field and then paste your Apple ID there. After that, you're now ready to start the build. Now, what we're going to do is click Publish Project in Despia to begin the process. Despia will package your app and then submit the generated .ipa file directly to App Store Connect. Now, depending on your app size and its configuration, this step can take a few minutes. So when the build is complete, you'll see a confirmation message that everything hopefully went smoothly. And you can also check Test Flight to confirm that the build has been uploaded. It should appear there as ready to submit. And just like that, your app is now live inside Apple's review system and ready for the final submission process, which we'll go through in the next step. We're so close. And getting to the finish line of your app launch means taking care of the last few App Store Connect requirements. And the first one might seem small, but it's super important. You need a privacy policy. Apple asks for a link to it before you can submit your build. Think of it as your app's About page for data, since it explains what information you collect and how it's handled. All right, so start by visiting privacypolicygenerator.info. It's a simple site that walks you through the process. Select the option for an app, then go through each question. Now, this part is mostly about being accurate and honest. So for our demo, we'll keep it straightforward and select No for data collection. If your app does gather any information like user details, analytics, or permissions, make sure you mark those accordingly. And once you complete the setup here, the site will generate your privacy policy automatically. And then when it's ready, all you got to do is publish it and then copy the link. You'll need to paste that URL into App Store Connect later during the submission steps. Okay, so after making sure the privacy policy is ready, it's time to set up the distribution section in App Store Connect. In this part, you'll fill out the public-facing details of your app. You know, the parts people see when they're browsing the App Store. So this is your app's storefront page where screenshots and descriptions and keywords help users understand what your app does. So let's begin by opening the distribution page of your app in App Store Connect. And we're gonna go ahead and start with the visuals since those usually make the biggest impression. We'll drag and drop 3 iPhone screenshots, then we're gonna go ahead and do the same for your iPad screenshots. Now these screenshots should show off your app's key screens, anything that highlights how it looks and how it works. Next, scroll down to fill out the text fields. In the promotional text box, enter an advanced calorie tracker. Then under description, write something clear and helpful like NutriTrack is a simple calorie tracking application designed to help you monitor your daily caloric intake and macros efficiently, set your target goals, add food items, and track your progress with ease. And below that, we'll add a few keywords separated by commas like fitness, calorie tracking, health, nutrition, macros. These will help your app show up in search results, so they are like short tags that users might type when looking for apps exactly like yours. For the support URL, paste the link to your privacy policy or a support page if you have one. Then make sure your version number is set to 1.00, matching what's in your app's configuration. Then under copyright, type NutriTrack 2025. After filling everything in, scroll down and select the build that you submitted earlier from Despia. In the app review information section here, look for the sign in required option. If your app doesn't need users to sign in, uncheck this box. And if it does, make sure to leave it enabled. Always adjust this based on your app's actual setup. Now, once everything looks good, scroll back up and click Save in the top right corner over here. And that locks in your app's basic details, and we're ready to move on to completing the rest of the App Store submission requirements. All right, so now let's move over to the app information section in App Store Connect. So let's start by adding a short and clear subtitle. Type track your calories and macros. This line appears right below your app's name on the App Store and gives potential users a quick idea of what it does. Then select your app's categories. So for this app, we're going to choose health and fitness as the primary category. If there is a secondary option that fits, you can go ahead and select that too, but it is not required. Next, scroll down to content rights and set it to no, since this app doesn't collect or use user data. After that, complete the age rating setup. You're going to see a list of content related questions here, and just answer no to all of them, since this calorie tracker app doesn't include explicit material or user generated content. After that, click save in the upper right corner. This ensures your app's information and classifications are properly recorded before we move on to setting up the pricing and availability. Before your app goes live, you do need to decide how it will be distributed and who can access it. Now, this part happens in the pricing and availability section of App Store Connect. And this is where you set whether your app is free or paid and choose the regions where it will appear once approved. And App Store Connect will open the pricing and availability tab. Start clicking Add Pricing, then select $0 to make your app free to download. Now, for most new apps, especially simple tools like this calorie tracker, starting free helps you reach more users before deciding whether to add premium features later on. Once you've chosen the price, review the pricing details across different countries and regions to make sure everything looks right. And when you're done, click Confirm to save your selection. Next, let's set our app's availability. Click Setup Availability, then choose all countries and regions. Doing this ensures your app can be downloaded from anywhere, giving it the widest possible reach. After confirming, you'll see a full list of supported regions where your app will be live once it is approved. And that's it for pricing and availability. The next step is to finalize your app's privacy information before sending it for review. Now, you should know that Apple requires every app on the App Store to explain how it handles user data, and that's done in the App Privacy section of App Store Connect. Here, you are going to declare what kind of information that your app collects and add your privacy policy link. Even if your app doesn't collect personal data, Apple still requires this step for transparency. So in App Store Connect, we're going to go over to the App Privacy tab. And let's begin by editing the privacy policy and pasting the link we generated earlier from the privacy policy generator. Now, after that, click Save to keep it recorded. Next, click Get Started to begin the privacy setup. Now, when you're asked if your app collects data, select Yes, since Apple requires a clear disclosure for all apps. On the following screen, choose Name and Health as the data types, as this app deals with calorie tracking and nutrition data. Continue through the remaining steps, reviewing the options to make sure that your selections match what your app actually does. And when you're finished, click Publish to finalize everything. All right, it's time for the final step. Finally, right? Sending the app for review. Now, what's happening here is that Apple's review team takes over and then checks out your app before it goes live on the App Store. So we need to head back to the Prepare for Submission page in App Store Connect. We're going to click Add for Review, then select your submission and click Submit for Review. Once submitted, the app enters Apple's review queue. The review time can vary depending on your app's complexity and Apple's current review load, but you will receive an update once the process is complete. And that's it. Your app is ready to go. Just remember that every app is different, so when you go through these steps on your own, make sure that your settings, your policies, and your data handling match your actual app's features. Just don't copy me one for one. Now, this guide gives you the full path. You just need to adjust it to fit your unique project. So by this point, you gotta admit, it's kind of crazy how all that came together so fast, right? We just built and uploaded an app without writing a single line of code. Base44 handled the build, Despia took care of the publishing, and now your app's basically ready for the App Store. If you followed along, for sure, you now have a working app and the know-how to do it again and again, maybe something bigger next time. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. What if I told you that you could build an entire app without writing a single line of code? Because most people think that app development requires years of programming experience and expensive developers or a whole team of them or complex technical skills. But here's the thing, especially nowadays, AI has completely changed the game. In this screenshot, you can see proof that this baby sleep tracking app, it's generating over $500,000 per month on the App Store. Napper helps parents track their baby's sleep patterns and provides personalized sleep schedules. It's really cool. And it's also one of the top-rated parenting apps with thousands of satisfied users. But here's what's crazy. I'm gonna show you exactly how to recreate this entire app using nothing but AI tools and then get it published to the App Store. No coding required, no technical background, and no design skills needed. Just one powerful AI tool that I will reveal in just a moment, so that by the end of this video, you are going to have a complete roadmap for building your own app empire. And we'll start by designing the interface in Figma, then use an AI coding tool to bring it all to life. And finally, we're gonna publish it to the App Store using another AI platform that will handle all of the complicated submission processes. Now, I've spent months just testing different AI development tools, and I've found the absolute best one right now that can turn your app idea into reality with just a simple prompt. Now, this is the same process that I used to copy this $500,000 per month app, and now I'm sharing the entire blueprint with you. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so the AI tool that will build the entire app for us today is Base 44. They're one of the best AI app builders at this moment. I also added a special link in the description down below so that you can go ahead and check them out too. So before we bring anything into Base 44, it helps to sketch out a simple layout in Figma so we have a clear visual starting point. And it doesn't have to be perfect or fully polished. It just has to be something that captures the general structure of the app. This is like giving Base 44 a sort of blueprint that it can expand on later. So for this build, I'm putting together a basic mobile layout, a clean header here at the top, 2 widget areas here in the center, and a simple nav bar at the bottom. Nothing fancy, not yet, just enough to establish where our main features will eventually live. Now, I'll start by putting up the base dashboard using a simple rectangle as the background frame. After that, we'll add another rectangle here and then label it widget number 1 so we have a placeholder for one of our core features. I'm going to duplicate that section, I'm going to move it underneath here, and then I'm going to rename it to widget number 2. Now, these 2 blocks will later be replaced by the full tracking functionality inside the app, but for now they just help define our structure. Next, I'm going to add a header text here at the top left corner that says, "Welcome back, user." All right, it's something lightweight that just gives the interface a little bit of personality. And finally, I'm going to be building here a simple nav bar at the bottom using another rectangle, dropping in a few icons to represent the main sections that we can tap on. Now, I'm only adding 3 icons for now since we can always have Base 44 expand the navigation once the rest of the app starts coming together. Now, there is one thing worth keeping in mind right now. When you are designing mockups in Figma, specifically for Base 44, the goal isn't pixel perfect detail. Don't worry about that right now. It's more about giving the AI a clear enough direction. Now, if you already have a strong design vision, you can sketch out more. But even a simple structure like this one is enough for Base 44 to really understand what you want and then start shaping the real app around it. This gives us the base layout we'll be building from in the next video, where we bring this design directly into Base 44. After laying out the rough structure in Figma, it is time to let Base 44 take over. Now, this part always feels kind of strangely effortless is the best way I can put it, because you can go from a simple mock-up made of rectangles and text to an actual app interface that looks clean and looks ready to build on. We don't have to manually necessarily recreate every element because Base 44 can interpret the design and then turn it into real mobile-ready UI in just a few seconds. So to guide Base 44, we're going to use this prompt. Please create a baby sleep tracker application. Utilize this design I made in Figma as a base. We'll insert the link here. Now make sure it's mobile optimized and adjust anything that needs refinement. Don't build the functionality just yet, just recreate the UI. And with that prompt and it running, Base 44 brings the entire layout to life. As you can see, the hierarchy becomes clearer, spacing feels intentional, and the whole design starts looking like the foundation of a real baby sleep tracking app. And it's not just a static sketch either. All right, so a baby tracking app only becomes genuinely useful once it can record the details that parents care about day after day. Things like sleep patterns and feeding times, diaper changes, medication, bath routines. All of these play a role in understanding a baby's overall well-being. And that's why the next step is turning the second widget on the home screen into a proper baby tracker, something that captures those moments quickly enough and then keeps everything organized in one place. So to bring that functionality to life, we're going to ask Base 44 to please implement the baby tracker, include sleep tracking, feeding, diaper changes, medication, bath time, and other common activities. Place this in the second widget on the home page and create all the input fields a parent would need for accurate tracking. All right, so after running that prompt, as you can see here, the second widget expands into a clean menu of tracking options. Selecting sleep, for example, opens a detailed form where start and end time, sleep type, and sleep quality can be logged. Now, saving the entry updates the dashboard instantly too. Feeding logs behave the same exact way. They appear in the activity list as soon as they are submitted. And apart from that, viewing the recent history also shows that both entries were stored neatly, confirming that every action is being tracked and recorded correctly. So by this stage, the app finally has its core engine. It's a reliable way to log the daily rhythm of a baby's routine while building the data needed for the smarter features coming up ahead. Now, sleep patterns are one of the bigger challenges for new parents, and having a tool that can anticipate nap times or bedtime can make the entire day feel a lot more manageable. So that's why I want to introduce the Predictive Sleep Schedule. This feature takes the data logged in the baby tracker, things like sleep duration and wake windows and overall consistency, and turns that into a dynamic schedule that adjusts in real time as new entries are added. And Base 44 can build this system using this kind of prompt. Please create a predictive sleep schedule feature. Use an algorithm that can predict nap times and bedtime based on baby's natural sleep rhythms and wake windows. Make sure the schedule automatically adjusts daily based on actual sleep data collected. Make sure it uses sleep pressure and awake window concepts and has push notifications to alert parents when nap time is approaching. Overhaul the add section and create this feature on that section instead. Also create a widget on the homepage based on the user's baby tracking inputs. And with that prompt, the add section now transforms into a full predictive scheduling tool. And you can see me here entering a baby's name, their birth date, and general wake sleep preferences. And once those details are in place, the app instantly generates a personalized sleep forecast. There are suggested nap times, bedtime windows, and adjustments that appear right away, shaped by the data previously collected in the baby tracker. The homepage here also receives its own widget, showing quick glance updates all throughout the day. And this feature definitely is one of the app's biggest strengths, since it is turning just basic logs into guidance that feels practical and supportive for everyday use. A lot of parents rely on background sounds to help their baby get settled down, so adding a built-in sleep sound generator does make the app feel far more complete, at least to me. So this is where soothing audio options like white noise, pink noise, or gentle hums come into play. Simple tools that can make bedtime or nap time noticeably easier. And Base 44 can generate this feature using this prompt. Create a new section after the second section where the user can generate white noise or sleep sounds. Build this feature specifically for helping babies sleep and create custom soundscapes. Update the nav bar so this new section is also included. And once once our prompt is processed, a brand new sound section does appear inside the app. The page includes a collection of different noise types designed for calming environments. There's white noise, pink noise, and brown noise, and they each have their own options, and tapping them plays the sound instantly. The nav bar updates automatically as well, giving the feature a dedicated spot here so that parents can just reach it quickly during bedtime routines. Now, the app now supports both tracking and soothing, a combination that starts making it genuinely helpful in the day-to-day parenting situations. So tracking and predictions are incredibly helpful, but many parents also want to understand why their baby sleeps the way that they do. And that's why the final feature here focuses on education. It's a space inside the app where caregivers can learn about healthy sleep habits, attachment principles, routines, and developmental needs in simple, digestible pieces. So instead of sending parents off to Google in the middle of the night, I just want the app to be a built-in resource. A prompt like this will guide Base 44 through that part of the build. Create another last section for baby sleep education content. Create a baby sleep bootcamp that offers a 14-day course on sleep, attachment theory, and parenting. Make sure the content is research-based, comprehensive, and broken down into small, easy-to-understand chapters. And after applying that prompt, a new Learn section appears in the app. Inside, the baby sleep bootcamp is laid out as a 14-day progression, and with each day covering a different topic or a different technique. Opening day 1 shows a complete chapter here, and completing it marks the lesson as done, which gives parents a sense of progress as they move through the course. Now, at this point, the app doesn't just track sleep or suggest schedules, it also helps parents understand the bigger picture behind those routines, rounding out the experience into something educational, supportive, and also very highly practical. Alright, so before moving the project over to Despia, a quick adjustment inside Base 44 ensures that our app can load freely once it's packaged for the App Store. Base 44 requires apps to use login access by default, but this build doesn't need that barrier, so the access setting needs to be opened up. So inside Base 44, head on over to the dashboard, look for the require login to access option, and then simply uncheck it. After that, copy the project link and hit publish so the latest version is live and ready for Despia. And that's all that's needed now on the Base 44 side. The app is officially prepped for the publishing stage. After wrapping up the Base 44 build, it's time to hand things off to Despia. It's the platform that turns a web app into something the App Store can actually accept. And Despia handles the packaging, the versioning, and all of the behind-the-scenes requirements that would normally take a developer hours to configure. And setting up the project here gives us the foundation Despia needs before it can generate a proper iOS build. Inside Despia, start by creating a new project and entering the basic information. Add your app's name, and in our case now, Dream Tracker, though you can use whatever title you want, and paste the web app start URL from Base 44. And this tells Despia exactly which live version of the app it should wrap into the final iOS build. And scrolling down, the left panel here reveals the icon upload sections. The iOS icon needs to be added first, followed by the splash screen graphic. Now, these assets are what users will see on their home screen and during the app's initial loading moment, so Despia requires them before the project can be finalized. And once both images are uploaded, the Despia project is officially created and ready for the next step. So Despia can only build an iOS app if it has permission to talk directly to your Apple developer account. So this step is all about making that connection. And it might look technical, at least at first glance, but once you understand what each field represents, it is just as straightforward as copy this, paste that kind of flow. So here we're like giving Despia the keys it needs so it can push your Dream Tracker build straight to the App Store Connect. Now inside Despia, head on over to the build panel on the right here, and then click select your development team. A panel opens up, and from there you need to hit add team to start entering your Apple developer credentials. In each field matches one specific piece of information from your Apple account. The development team ID comes first. You'll find it inside your Apple developer account under certificates, identifiers, and profiles. And the ID sits in the upper right corner of the dashboard. Copy that string and then paste it over to Despia. Next is the account issuer ID, which lives in App Store Connect under users and access and then integrations. Apple lists it right at the top here of the API API section, so grab it and drop it into the corresponding box inside of Despia. Now the last part here covers the API key ID and the P8 API key file, both created in the same integration section of App Store Connect. Create a new API key, give it a name, I'll be using Dream Tracker Despia, and assign it the App Manager role. Apple generates a key ID, which you'll paste into Despia, and a .p8 key file, which you will download and upload to Despia through the file selector. Now, after all three pieces of information are in place, click Link with Apple. Despia connects to your account, and you'll see now your development team all available here in the dropdown. Select it, and from this point on, Despia can handle your builds directly. Okay, so this is part of the process where things can look a little technical, but it's also one of the most important steps. Despia can only build and submit your app if Apple knows exactly what pieces belong to it, and that means setting up a series of bundle identifiers inside your developer account. It is a bit of a long setup, but once everything is registered correctly, the rest of the publishing process becomes a lot smoother. So inside your Apple developer account, open certificates, identifiers, and profiles, and then head into the identifiers section. This is where all the IDs for the Dream Tracker build will live. Now, the first one we're setting up is the main app bundle ID. Despia already generates this ID for our project, so we can start by just copying the value from Despia. And then back in the Apple developer dashboard, create a new identifier, choose app IDs, and then select app as a type. Now, the form will ask for the bundle ID, so paste the one you just copied earlier and add your app's name in the description field. Apple also requires that the correct capabilities are enabled for the app. For Dream Tracker, that includes app attest, app groups, associated domains, iCloud with CloudKit, and push notifications with broadcast capabilities. And these features handle everything from syncing data to delivering notifications, so it is important they're enabled up front. After selecting each capability, save the identifier, and then this becomes the core ID that all your other targets will connect back to. After registering the main bundle ID, the next piece to set up is the One Signal target. Now, this part handles notifications for the app, which means Apple needs its own dedicated identifier and app group so that these features can work correctly. Start by grabbing the One Signal bundle ID from Despia, and then back in your Apple developer dashboard, create another new identifier. Choose app IDs, select app, and paste the bundle ID into the field provided. And for the description, combine your app's name with One Signal so it's easy to recognize later on. Then enable the required capabilities, app groups, associated domains, and push notifications with broadcast capabilities, and then just save the identifier. Next, it needs its own app group, so create a new identifier again, this time selecting app group. Copy the One Signal group ID from Despia, paste it into the identifier field, and then label it with your app's name followed by One Signal app group. Save it to lock that group in place. And once both pieces are created, open the One Signal identifier you set up earlier. Inside the capabilities list, find app groups and click configure, and then from the modal, choose the One Signal app group you just registered, and then save your changes. And now both the One Signal target and its group are officially linked and ready for Despia to use. The next target to set up is the app clip, which is basically a lightweight instant load version of your app. Now, Apple treats it as its own component, so it does need its own identifier and app group to function properly. Now, we'll start by creating a new identifier in your Apple developer account, select app IDs, and this time choose the app clip as the type. And for the product name, just enter clip, then select your main app bundle ID in the parent app ID field so that Apple knows this clip belongs to your primary app. Continue to the next screen and give it a clear description using your app's name, followed by app clip. Enable the capabilities that app clips rely on, so app groups, associated domains, and push notifications. Save the identifier once everything is set. The app clip also needs its own dedicated app group, so create another new identifier and choose app group. Copy the app clip group ID from Despia, paste it into the identifier identifier field and label it with your app's name plus app clip app group, so it's easy to identify later. After that, just save it to finalize the group. To tie everything together now, open the app clip identifier you registered, go to the app group's capability, click configure, and add the app clip app group that you just created. Save your changes, and your app clip setup is now officially complete and linked properly. The share target configuration is the next identifier setup on the list, and it's what allows your app to receive shared content from other apps. And just like the previous targets, it needs its own app ID and app group. So we'll start by copying the share target bundle ID from Despia, heading back into our Apple developer account, and then creating a new identifier. Select app IDs, choose app, and paste the bundle ID into the bundle ID field. Now for the description, use your app's name followed by share target, so it's easy to recognize later. The only capability this target needs is app groups, so enable that and save the identifier. After that, create the companion app group. Make another new identifier, choose app group, then paste the share target group ID that you copied earlier from Despia. Give it a clear label using your app's name plus share target app group, then save the group. And now to wrap things up, open the share target identifier you just registered, go to the app group section, click configure, and add the share target app group that you created. Save your changes, and the entire share target setup is fully connected and ready to use. Okay, so the final target to configure is the widget, which powers any home screen widgets your app might include. And just like the other components, it needs its own app ID and app group to function properly. And we'll start by copying the widget bundle ID from Despia. In your Apple developer account, just create a new identifier, select app IDs, choose app, and paste the bundle ID into the field. Now, for the description, just label it with your app's name followed by widget, so it is easy to recognize later. The only capability this one requires is app group, so enable that and save the identifier. Next up comes the widget's dedicated app group. So create another new identifier, choose app group, and then paste the widget group ID you copied from Despia. Give it a clear name using your app's name plus widget app group, then save the group. And once both pieces are created, open the widget identifier you registered earlier. Under app groups, click configure, select the widget app group you just created, and then save your changes. Now at this point, every widget related identifier is properly linked and ready. And with all core identifiers completed, we can now move on to creating the actual App Store Connect project. So open up App Store Connect, go to apps, and create a new app. Add the required details, set the platform to iOS, enter your app's name, for example, Dream Tracker, Baby Sleep Aid, choose English as the primary language, select your main app bundle ID, and then use your app's name in all caps as the SKU. Choose full access for user access, then create the app. And when the dashboard loads, head to app information, copy the Apple ID, and then paste it back into the App Store app ID field inside of Despia. And after that, build a project in Despia and wait for it to finish. The core setup is now officially in place. But hold on just for a quick minute, because before an app can go live in the App Store, Apple does require a full set of product details and screenshots and policies and disclosures. Now, this part of the process is less about building features and more about making sure that everything meets Apple's publishing standards. It's kind of a checklist style workflow, but once you understand the flow, it becomes much more manageable. And we'll walk through each requirement step by step so that nothing gets missed. So, a privacy policy is one of the first things that App Store Connect asks for, and it's required for every app, whether you're collecting data or not. Now, the key is that the policy accurately reflects what your app does, especially around user information. So for this build, a quick way to generate a policy is by using privacy policy generator.info. Select the app option, then go through the questionnaire. In a real-world release, every answer should match your app's actual data practices. Since this project is a demo and doesn't collect any user information, answering no across the data collection sections does keep things a lot simpler. And once everything is filled out, the generator provides a fully hosted privacy policy page. Just copy the link, you'll plug this into multiple sections of App Store Connect as you complete the rest of the submission requirements. Now, this part is where your app starts taking shape inside of the App Store listing. So head on over to the distribution page where Apple asks for all the visual and descriptive elements that appear publicly, and begin by uploading your screenshots. 3 for iPhone, and then another set for iPad. And these don't need to be perfect during testing, but in a real submission, they should reflect the actual experience of the app. Next, fill out the core store details. Add the promotional text. For my case, I'm going to add Dream Tracker Baby Sleep Aid and write a clear description, such as Dream Tracker is a professional, high-quality app designed to help track your baby's sleep. And after that, we're going to add a few relevant keywords. And for this demo, we'll be using tracking, health, sleep, and then paste your support or privacy policy URL into the support field. And make sure the version number matches your project configuration, which is 1.0.0 in this case. Then enter the copyright line DreamTrack 2025. After that, scroll down and attach the build you submitted earlier from Despia. You'll also see an option labeled Sign In Required. Since this is a demo app and it doesn't use authentication, just uncheck it. If your real app does require sign-in, keep it enabled and adjust your answers accordingly. And once everything looks correct, scroll back up and then hit save. That locks in the distribution details and moves you another step closer to submission. The app information section is where Apple gets the basic context for what your app is and how it should be presented in the store. None of this is technical. It's more of a quick profile setup, but it does still need to be accurate. So we'll start by adding a short subtitle that helps users understand the app at a glance. So for this demo, a simple line like track your baby's sleep works pretty well. Next, choose the appropriate categories. And since this app focuses on baby sleep assistance and tracking, utilities is a fitting choice. Apple will also ask whether you own the rights to all the content in the app. Because this build doesn't collect or use any external data, set content rights to no. And from there, move into the age rating questionnaire. And these questions determine whether your app contains sensitive material. And since this project has no explicit content of any kind, selecting no across the board keeps the rating accurate. And once everything is filled out, hit save to lock in your app information settings. And this completes another key piece of the App Store submission checklist. So the next stop is the pricing and availability section, where you just tell Apple how the app should be distributed and whether it's paid or it's free. Since this project is intended as a free utility, start by selecting add pricing and choose $0 and 0 cents. Apple will show a breakdown of how that pricing applies across different countries and regions. So go ahead and take a quick look through this list, then hit confirm to lock it in. And after that, open up the setup availability panel and choose all countries and regions. And this ensures the app can be downloaded worldwide without any restrictions. Once you confirm the selection, the availability list will now expand to show every market that your app will appear in. And that's all that's needed really for this section. Your app is now priced correctly and set to be globally accessible. Now, Apple treats privacy as a major checkpoint. So this part is all about making sure your app clearly explains what it collects and why. Start by opening the app privacy section and updating the privacy policy link. Paste the URL you generated earlier, then save it. Next, click Get Started to begin Apple's privacy questionnaire. And even though this is a demo and we aren't collecting real user data, Apple still requires developers to disclose what the app is capable of accessing. And that's why we need to select yes when asked about data collection. Move to the next step and choose others as the data type, since it covers the minimal non-personal data this demo setup uses. Continue through the remaining questions, confirm each answer, and then save the final summary. When everything looks right, hit publish to finalize your privacy details. Now this completes one of the most important parts of the App Store submission flow. All right, so once every requirement is filled in and your build is attached, the only thing left is to actually send the app to Apple for review. So head back to the Prepare for Submission page where all your completed sections are listed. Click Add for review, select the submission you want to send, and then confirm it. After that, Apple takes over. Your app is officially in the review queue. And there you have it. Just like that, a Figma sketch became a fully shipped iOS app. Base 45 Base44 handled the build, Despia handled the publishing, and you handled the vision. If you want to spin up your own idea and bring it to life, the links are down below. Thank you for sticking around and investing your time with me today. I'll catch you at the next one. I just copied a $2 million per month app using AI, and I got it published to the App Store in minutes without writing a single line of code. So check this out. In this screenshot, you can see proof. This Bible app generated over $2 million, and that was just last month. So Bible Chat is a daily devotional app that provides AI-powered spiritual guidance and personalized Bible study experiences for users who are seeking a deeper faith connection. Now, I used only one AI tool to build this entire app, and it's the best AI coding tool available right now. You literally just prompt your idea, and then the AI builds your app. But here's what I've never, ever before revealed on my channel. Building the app is really only half the battle. In this video, I'm gonna show you the secret second AI tool that actually gets your app into the App Store without any of the complicated technical processes that usually stop people dead in their tracks. So by the end of this video, you are going to have the complete blueprint to copy any successful app using AI and then publish it to the App Store. No coding experience required. And we're talking about going from idea to a published app in record time. Let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so in this tutorial, we're gonna go step by step using Base44 and Despia. Base44 to build the app with AI, and then Despia to easily submit the app to the App Store. I added a special link in the description down below for both of those tools. So every good app starts the same way, right? Not with features, not with buttons, but with a clear layout. We need to know where things go before we decide what things actually do. So before we get into Bible reading tools, daily devotionals, or community features, we're first going to build the app's front end and then see what the overall experience looks like. And to do that, I'm gonna go give this prompt to Base44. Hi Base44, please create a mobile-friendly Bible application. Please build the front end first and give it a modern look. Build a dashboard, community, profile, reading tabs. Use placeholders for now. Make sure to only use local storage for data management. Do not use any database. Once done, we can start focusing on the features afterward. And with that, Base44 immediately starts putting the whole structure together. It creates the main tabs, it adds a clean dashboard layout, it sets up those community and reading sections we asked for, and then it wraps everything up in a modern mobile-friendly design. And even though everything, for now, is just using placeholders, the flow already looks like a real app. There's smooth navigation, clean spacing, and a layout that makes sense right out of the box. By the time this generation finishes, we already have a simple but modern Bible application ready to build on. And that's exactly what we'll do next. Now that our foundations are in place, the next parts of the video will focus on turning each section into real working features. Now that the structure is ready, I'm going to move straight into building the features that make the app, well, actually useful. The dashboard here is the first thing users will see when they open up the app. So I want it to feel personal and then give them something meaningful right away. To make that happen, I'm going to start by adding tools like daily devotionals, a verse of the day, streak tracking, and a simple plan for spiritual growth. To make all of that happen, this is the exact prompt I'm going to use. Let's now build the main features of the application. Let's further build the dashboard section and implement a daily devotionals, daily Bible verse, and streak tracking widgets. This is to help our users be more engaged with the application. Also have a widget for daily plans towards spiritual growth. Make sure the dashboard is intuitive. And after that, as soon as I send it, Base44 starts building everything at once. So let's go ahead and try to open our dashboard tab here. And we can see that all of the widgets are already in place. It's clean, it's functional, and again, it's laid out in a way that makes sense. Now, the verse of the day updates automatically. The streak tracker, of course, counts our progress, and the devotional area pulls in content along with the spiritual growth widget laying out a simple path our users can follow. So let's go ahead and tap through each one to make sure that everything works and that the experience is smooth across the board. Now here with the dashboard up and running, the app now has a real sense of purpose, something our users can actually interact with the moment that they tap it up and open it up. Next up, I'm moving on to the reading section here, basically the core part of our app where our users will actually study and explore scripture. And I want this section to feel useful and complete from day one. So I'm asking Base 44 to build everything at once. Multiple Bible versions, a verse search bar, and guided study plans. And to accomplish all of that, let's send over this prompt. Now please start building the reading section. And in this section, allow the user to be able to read multiple Bible versions, the New King James Version, King James Version, WMB, FBV, World English, Amplified, NASB, have a verse search and locator, and access to structured Bible study plans with topics such as healing, wisdom, leadership, grief, marriage, and mental health. Base 44 gets to work right away. And once the update finishes, we can now check the new reading tab. And everything is already in place. I can switch between different Bible versions, use the search bar to locate specific verses, and browse a new section dedicated to Bible study plans. Now the layout is clean and everything loads smoothly, which makes this part of the app feel functional and actually helpful for our users. Okay, so a lot of faith-based apps feel personal until you hit the community section, then everything just kind of suddenly feels empty or disconnected. Now I don't want that for this project. I want our users to open the app and then instantly feel like they're part of a real active prayer community. So to make that happen, I'm gonna ask Base 44 to build out the social side of the app using this exact prompt. Please build the community section. Inside of it, have a live prayer wall where other users' prayers can be seen so the users can pray together with their intention. Have a daily prayer widget with personalized prayer writings for the user. Build this on top of the existing community/social features we already have in the community section. And with that, Base 44 updates this section, and the community tab now transforms into a fully interactive space. There's a live prayer wall here showing prayer intentions from other users, giving our app a sense of shared experience. Now, along with that, the daily prayer widget also generates personalized written prayers, and everything blends naturally with the features already in place. Before I move the app over to Despia, I do have to clean up a few things inside the Base 44 project. Base 44 apps are built with their own SDKs and built-in tools like authentication and database connections. Now, that's great while developing inside of the platform, but Despia requires the app to be completely independent. No Base 44 backend, no hidden dependencies. So the goal here now is to strip the project down to pure local storage and then just remove anything that could cause issues during submission. So to do that, we need to give this prompt to Base 44. Please remove the Base 44 SDK and API. Make sure there are no dependencies remaining in the project. Simple as that. Now, after the cleanup is done, let's switch the project's access settings so it no longer requires login. Now, in the top right corner here of Base 44, let's go ahead and hit Publish, open up the access settings, and then uncheck Require Login to access. Then we can publish the project and then copy the public link. So now at this point, our app is fully prepared and completely self-contained, which means it's ready for the Despia setup. So the first thing I do is head over to Despia's website and I create a brand new app project. This is where we're going to package everything from Base 44 and then prepare it for the App Store. After hitting Create Project, I give the app a name. Anything works here, but in my case, I'm calling it Bible Journey. Despia then asks for a web app start URL, and this is where I paste the public link we copied from Base 44 earlier. And once that's in, the project dashboard opens up, and now this is where we can start dropping in all the required assets. On the left sidebar here, there's an app icon and branding section. I upload the iOS icon here. Just make sure it's like 1024 by 1024 image. And since that's the required size for App Store submissions anyway. After that, I scroll down to the splash screen layout section here, and I'll upload the splash screen GIF that will appear when the app launches. Now, with those visuals in place, the next step is to connect the Apple developer account, which we'll handle right after this. Now, account connecting everything to your Apple developer account is usually the part people do dread the most. I do. It always sounds way more complicated than it actually is. But inside of Despia, the process is pretty straightforward. Once you know where each piece of information goes, it lives, it does all come together quite quickly, and you only have to set it up once. So on the right-hand panel inside Despia here, let's open Build History and click Deploy Build. This opens up another sidebar where all the Apple-related configurations live. Inside this panel, we can scroll down to Build Configuration and open the Development Team dropdown. Now, since this is our first time setting it up, I am going to choose Add a Team, which brings up the Connect with App Store Connect panel. Now, this is where we enter all the details from our Apple developer account, okay? So for the development team ID here, I'll go to the Apple Developer Resources page, and at the top right of the dashboard, the team ID is displayed. So I'm just gonna copy it, and then I'm gonna paste it back into Despia. Next is the account issuer ID. For this, let's go to the App Store Connects API section. The issuer ID is shown right away, so I just copy it and paste it into its field in Despia. Then comes the API key ID and P8 file. I'll stay on the App Store Connect API page. I'm gonna create a new API key. I'm gonna assign it to the App Manager role and then download the P8 file. After generating the key, I copy the key ID and then upload the P8 file back into Despia. And now, once all the fields are filled in, we can click Link with Apple, and Despia will handle the rest for us. After the connection is successful, let's go ahead and go back to the development team dropdown here, and then select the team we just linked. And that's pretty much it. Our Apple developer account is now connected and ready. So the next step is to handle all the build requirements for the App Store submission. Okay, so first things first, this next part can look a little overwhelming at first, but once you see the pattern, it becomes pretty straightforward. Despia needs several identifier targets to match what's in your Apple developer account, and each one has to be created manually so everything lines up during the build. It's basically like giving both platforms matching name tags so they recognize the app as yours. So even though the panel here shows multiple targets, most of them follow the exact same setup process as you'll see. So after doing the first one, the rest will move a lot faster. For the app bundle, let's start by opening up my Apple developer account and going to the identifier page here. And from here, we can create a new identifier, choose app ID, and then continue. When Apple asks for a type, I'll just select app, then paste the bundle ID that Despia provided earlier into the field. In the description box, we need to enter the name of the application. So in our case, it's Bible Journey for this project, so I can easily recognize it for later. After that, let's try to scroll through the capabilities and then enable everything that the app needs, such as App Attest, app groups, associated domains, Health Kit, iCloud with CloudKit support, push notifications, of course, with Broadcast, sign in with Apple, and Siri. These are required so Apple knows exactly what features the app uses. Then I'll click Continue, register the identifier, and once it appears in the list here, the app bundle setup is complete and ready to be linked back to Despia. Now, setting up the one signal target follows almost the same process as the previous app bundle, just with a slightly different set of details. So let's go back to Despia and then copy the push bundle ID that's assigned to the one signal target. And once we have that, we can head over to the identifier section again in my Apple developer account and create a new identifier. And just like before, let's go ahead and choose app ID, select app, and paste the one signal bundle ID into its field. For the description, I'll name it something easy to recognize. Again, Bible Journey One Signal works in this case, so I can tell it apart from the other identifiers that I'm going to be creating. After that, I am going to enable the capabilities that this target needs, which include app groups, associated domains, and push notifications with Broadcast. And now when everything is set up, we can continue and register the identifier. The next step we need to do is adding its app group. So let's just go ahead and stay in the identifiers page. Again, create a new identifier and this time choose app group. In the field where Apple asks for the identifier, I'll switch back to Despia and I'm going to copy the push app group ID, then paste it here. For the description, we'll name it Bible Journey One Signal App Group, so I always know exactly what it belongs to. After registering it, the app group is now ready. And the last part now is linking the group to the One Signal identifier. So let's open the One Signal app ID I created earlier, scroll down to the app group section, and then click Configure. Now inside that menu, let's select the app group that we just created. And after saving, everything is now connected properly. The One Signal identifier, its app group, and all required capabilities are now fully set up and ready for Despia. Setting up the app clip target works just a little bit differently. So instead of repeating the same flow as before, we are going to take a slightly new path here. We're going to start by creating another identifier in my Apple developer account still, but this time, let's choose app clip instead of the standard app ID. Since an app clip is basically a lightweight extension of the main app, we will link it to our primary bundle ID for Bible Journey. Then, after naming the product clip, we can now move forward to the capabilities page. The app clip doesn't need as many features as the full application, so we are only going to enable what it actually requires. So that's app groups, associated domains, and push notifications. So after locking these in, we are going to register the identifier and then move on to building its companion app group. Now for this part, we'll create a new app group the same way as we did before, but this time I'm going to name it specifically for the app clip so it's easy to recognize later. The group ID comes straight from Despia, so I am going to just paste it in, register it, and now the app clip has its own separate group ready to attach. In order to wrap things up here, we'll go back to the app clip identifier, scroll down to the app group section, and then open up the configuration menu. Now, all I need to do here is select the new app clip app group that we just created and save the changes. And once that's done, the app clip target is fully wired up and connected, and we can move on to the next requirement. For the next one, setting up the share target is a quicker task, but it still follows pretty much the same overall idea. We're going to start by grabbing the share target bundle ID from Despia and then jumping back into the identifiers page again in my Apple developer account to create another app ID. Now for the description, let's name it something, again, as usual, easy to track. And in this case, Bible Journey Share Target, just so I immediately know what this identifier is connected to. Since this target only needs basic communication access, the only capability I enable here is app groups. After that, we're going to save it and register it. Next, I need to give this target its own app group. So let's copy the group ID from Despia, create a new app group identifier in my Apple developer, and then label it Bible Journey Share Target app group. So everything does stay organized still. I'll now paste the identifier, register it, and the group is now ready to attach. And now to finish things off here, we'll go back to the Share Target app ID that we created earlier. Under the app group section here, let's open up the configuration menu and then select the Share Target app group that we just registered. After saving these changes, the share target is now fully set up and connected as well, and we can move on to the next part of the build. All right, so setting up the smart widget target is pretty straightforward as well, and by this point, the process should start feeling a little bit more familiar to you. And we're going to start by copying the smart widget bundle ID from Despia, then head back into the identifiers page again in my Apple developer account to create another app ID. Again, we'll paste the bundle ID, give it a clear label like Bible Journey Widget, and enable the app group's capability since this widget also needs to be able to communicate with the rest of the app. After saving and registering it, that part's done. Next up, we do need to create the widget's app group. I'll grab the group ID from Despia. I'm going to open the app group section in Apple Developer here and register a new one named Bible Journey Widget App Group. This keeps everything organized still, so we always know which group belongs to which feature. And the final step is simply linking that group to the widget's app ID. So we'll go back to the Smart Widget identifier, we'll open up the app group's configuration here, then select the widget app group we just created and save our changes. And that's pretty much it. The Smart Widget target is now fully connected and ready to go as well. Okay, so after creating all the individual identifiers and all the app groups, everything does need to be tied back to the main app bundle so that the app can actually use all of those features. So let's head to the identifiers page, open the primary bundle ID, the main Bible journey entry here, and then scroll down to the app groups section. Now from there, I'm going to select edit and then check all 4 groups that we just created earlier. So that's one signal, app clip, share target, and widget. Once I save that, the main app now officially recognizes and connects to every group, which completes the setup on the Apple developer side. And with that done, it's time to move over to App Store Connect and actually create the app project. So I'll open up the app section, start up a new app and fill out the basics. Platform set to iOS, the app name, the primary language, and the main bundle ID that we just finished configuring. Now for the SKU, I'm just going to use the app name in all caps. If the exact app name is already taken, sometimes it happens, it's completely fine to add a small variation. Now the important part here is that it remains clear and recognizable. So after the app is created, we can now jump into the app information page. We can copy the Apple ID assigned to it and then paste that into Despia's App Store App ID field. And once everything all matches up, we can now hit Publish Project in Despia. Doing this triggers the build process, and once it finishes, Despia automatically pushes the .ipa file straight into App Store Connect. Now, depending on the app and the setup, the build might take a bit to complete, but once it does land successfully, we're officially ready for the next step of the submission process. Now, submitting an app to the App Store always comes with one more round of requirements, and this is where most people kind of just, slow down. Not because it's difficult, but because there are a lot of small details that Apple expects you to fill out all correctly. So in this part of the process, we're going to walk through every single step that you need to complete before your build can be reviewed. Now, the first item on that list is creating a privacy policy, since Apple won't let any app move forward without one. So before we deal with screenshots, categories, or version info, we do need to generate just a simple privacy policy that we can use for our submission here in this part. So to start that part of the process, I'll head over to privacypolicygenerator.info and then generate the privacy policy we'll need for submission. And once I'm on the site here, I'm going to select the app checkbox so the tool knows what type of policy we're creating. Now from there, it will ask a series of questions about data usage and collection. Now, if you're submitting your very own app, make sure to answer these based on your actual features and requirements. Since this is just a demo, I'm keeping things simple and selecting no for the data collection options. After going through the setup, the generator produces a complete privacy policy for us. Now, I'm just simply going to copy that link it gives at the end, and let's keep that handy because we'll need to paste it into App Store Connect later on in the submission process. Since the privacy policy is ready, the next step is to set up all the distribution requirements inside of App Store Connect. Now here, we'll start by going to the distribution page of the app, and this is where Apple asks for all the details that will appear on the App Store listing. Some of these you're familiar with. So the first thing I do is upload the required screenshot, 3 for iPhone and then another set for iPad. After that, we need to fill in the basic information like the promotional text, the app description, and the keywords. So for this demo, I'm keeping things really simple with Bible Journey, your companion, as the promotional text. Bible Journey is a simple Bible application as the description, and a few keywords like spiritual, Bible, and journey. I will then paste the support URL, which can be the privacy policy link that we generated earlier, or an actual dedicated support page. The version number needs to match the one we used in Despia, so I'll set it to 1.0.0, and I'll add the copyright line Bible Journey 2025 to complete the section. And once all of that is entered, let's scroll down here to select the build that Despia uploaded for us. Under the app review information, we can remove the sign in required toggle since this app doesn't use any login system at all. If your app does require a login, make sure you keep that option turned on, of course, because this part depends entirely on the way your own project works. So after checking that everything looks correct here, let's scroll back up to the top and then click Save to lock in all the changes before moving on to the next step. After the distribution details are set, I'll move over to the app information section to fill out all the general metadata Apple requires. Now this is where we need to add the app subtitle, your daily companion, and then choose the appropriate categories, which in our case here are set to health and fitness. Since the app doesn't collect any user data, I'll set the content rights to no, and then complete the age rating by answering Apple's questions. So for this demo, everything is harmless and straightforward, so I'll select no across the board. And then once everything is filled in, we can save the changes and continue. So next, let's head into the pricing and availability section. I'll add pricing and I'm going to set the app to $0, making it completely free. After reviewing the pricing details for all countries and regions, we are going to confirm the setup and then choose all countries and regions for availability so the app can be downloaded worldwide. After locking that in, we can now move on to the privacy section. Now inside the app privacy tab, let's paste the privacy policy URL we generated earlier and then save it. Remember that Apple requires every developer to disclose how data is handled, even if the app doesn't collect anything significant. So let's go through their guided setup. Now here, for me, I'll select yes when asked if data is collected since the form does require a response, then continue and choose name and health as the data types for this demo setup. After completing the required disclosures, we'll just go ahead and save and then publish the privacy section. Now with all the metadata, the pricing and privacy details finished, the final step is setting the app in for review. So I return to the prepare for submission page. I'm going to click add for review, select the submission we just prepared and finalize it. And once submitted, the app enters Apple's review queue, and from here, it's just a matter of waiting for approval. And even though while we're waiting for Apple's approval, we are done here. The app is built, the steps are checked, submission is sent. It's not too bad, right? Now, if you want to spin up your own version, everything you need is in the description below. Click on all the links, all right? I'll see you at the next one, and thank you for spending your time with me today. This app in the App Store is making $4 million per month. And in this screenshot, you can see proof of these numbers. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how I copied it without writing a single line of code using just AI tools. Now, most people think that you need years of coding experience to build a successful app. But what if I told you that AI can now build entire apps for you? iScanner is a PDF document scanner that lets users scan, edit, and organize their documents directly from their phone. It's one of the top productivity apps on the App Store right now. I used only one AI tool to build this entire app, and it is the best AI coding tool available right now. All you have to do is just prompt your idea and the AI builds your app. But here's what I've never shown before on my channel ever. Now, building the app is only half the battle, right? The real challenge is getting it into the App Store without having to deal with complicated submission processes. So that's why in this video, I'm finally going to reveal the second AI tool that makes App Store submission completely seamless. So that by the end of this video, you are going to have the complete step-by-step system to build and publish your own app without having to write a single line of code. So there's no programming experience required, no technical headaches, just pure AI-powered app creation that actually works. So if you've ever wanted to build an app, but you always thought it was too complicated, stick around. I promise you it's going to be a good one, because what you're about to see will completely change how you think about app development in 2026. All right, so in this specific tutorial, we're going to go step by step using Base 44 and Despia. Base 44 to build the app with AI and Despia to easily submit the app to the App Store. Now I added a special link in the description down below for both of those tools. Before adding any features or scanner tools even, I want to make sure that our app actually has a place for everything to live, because it's a lot easier to build functionality when the layout is already mapped out. So the first step here is setting up the front end and getting the main screens all in place. Now, to do that, we need to give Base 44 this exact prompt. Create a new application called Document Scanner Pro. Build the foundational front end first. Add a mobile navigation bar with sections for dashboard, history, and settings. Create a user-friendly interface with a modern color scheme suitable for a productivity app, and make sure it's mobile optimized. And with that, Base 44 builds the structure out right away. It creates a clean mobile navigation bar here with the 3 sections that we needed. It sets up a modern color scheme and it lays out each screen so that everything is organized from the very start. Now, even though nothing works just yet, the app already looks like a real document scanner. The dashboard is in place, the history tab is ready, and the settings page is set up for later customization. Now, uploading a document sounds simple enough, right? But it's actually the moment where a scanner app starts to look real. Now, this is exactly the point where a user interacts with it for the first time. So like choosing a photo, seeing it appear on their screen, and knowing they're just one tap away from scanning. So in this step, I'm setting up that entire flow now. I'm picking an image, I'm previewing it instantly, and getting the interface ready for the AI features we'll build next. Now, in order to set this part up, we're going to instruct Base 44 with this. Create the upload functionality that accepts image files. Whenever an image is uploaded, have it show in the preview area. Make sure the interface is intuitive and build a Scan Now button. Don't build the scanning feature yet. And with that prompt, Base 44 generates the full upload section automatically. It creates a clean image picker. It adds a preview box that updates as soon as a file is chosen. And as you can see here, it places a Scan Now button right under it. Now that button doesn't do anything, not just yet, but visually, everything is already structured like a working scanner app. So let's go ahead and test it out by dropping in a random document screenshot. And there you go. As you can see, it appears instantly in the preview. Now, since the upload feature is already working pretty smoothly, we can now move on to building the AI-powered scanning system that will bring our app finally to life. So text recognition is where the app finally starts working, like an actual scanner. So uploading an image is great and all, but being able to pull real text out of that image is what turns this into something actually useful. And that's why I'm going to teach Base 44 how to scan a document image and then convert it into clean, editable text. We'll guide Base 44 with this prompt so it knows exactly what to build out. Great. Now please build the scanning functionality. Utilize your own AI to scan images, then convert those to text. After scanning an image, show the results at the end and a button for the user to confirm if they want to save it. And once Base 44 finishes generating that feature, we now have a functional AI-powered scanner. The Scan Now button here triggers Base 44's recognition engine. It extracts the text and then places the results in a clean output section. It even includes a confirmation button so that our users can save their scanned document afterward. Now here you can see that after running the feature with the same image from earlier, the extracted text does show up correctly. I'm going to title it and save it, which means the core scanning feature is now officially working and ready for the next steps. All right, so we all know that it's one thing to extract text, but being able to treat it like a proper document, to preview it, format it, save it, and come back to it later on is what brings this whole project together. So right now, now I want to build a full document creation flow, similar to what you'd expect in apps like Word or Google Docs. To do that, we need a guide base 44 again with a clear prompt so it knows exactly what features to put in place. Please make the scan text as a document. Whenever a user scans an image and after parsing the text, add an option to save it as a document. Create a modal to visualize this and create a preview to show the user what the document will look like. Have formatting options available as well. Make sure this also saves in the application's history. Please build this functionality similar to dedicated applications like Word and Google Docs. And with that prompt, after base 44 finishes generating our latest update, we now have a document creation system built right into the app. So once the text is scanned, a new option appears here, allowing the user to save it as a document. A preview modal also pops up showing exactly how the document will look. And there's also formatting tools like text alignment or styling, all the things that we're used to. They're all available so users can adjust things before actually saving the file. And after testing it with the same scanned image from earlier, everything looks like it's working pretty smoothly. Now I'm able to save it as a formatted document, and the final version automatically shows up in our app's history section as well. So this means the foundation for document editing is now complete, and we're ready now to build the next feature on top of it. Okay, so now that the app can scan text and then turn it into a clean document, the next thing that I want to add is the ability for our users to sign those documents digitally. Now, this is one of those features that instantly makes the app feel more complete, especially for anyone using it for work, for school, or of course, for forms. So in this part, we're going to add a simple signature pad that lets users draw in their signature and then place it directly inside of their document. So to do that, let's ask base 44 to add a digital signature feature. Create an add signature button that allows users to write their signature in the document modal. Create clear and apply buttons for this. Once applied, place the signature at the bottom of the document. So with this gives base 44 all the instructions it needs to build out the full signature workflow. Once base 44 finishes generating everything, we can go ahead and test it out right away. So I'm going to upload the same image from earlier. I'm going to now extract the text and save it as a document. Here inside the preview, the new add signature option finally shows up exactly where it should. Now, if I tap it, a signature pad does appear and I can draw out my signature, clear it if I need to redo it, and apply it once I'm happy with it. After applying, the signature is automatically placed at the bottom right here corner of the document. And when I do save it, it also shows up in the history section with the signature included. And with that, we now have scanning, text extraction, document creation, formatting, and yes, digital signing all working together, which are the core experience of a real document tool. Now, there's one thing nearly every document scanning app has in common. Most people take photos of their document instead of uploading them. So at this point, it makes sense to add a built-in camera feature, right? So that our users can point their device at a page and then quickly snap a picture without having to leave the app. To get that in place, we're going to tell base 44, please add a take photo/camera feature. Utilize the functionality that we have here for the scanning mechanism and the flow afterwards. Whenever this is clicked, have it use the device's camera and be able to take a photo. Simple as that. Doing that gives base 44 everything it needs to attach the camera directly to the scanning workflow in our app. After sending that prompt, the new camera button also appears now in our interface. You can see me here tapping on it, which confirms that the feature has been added, although the recording won't show a live camera feed right now since this demo isn't being filmed filmed on a phone. On a real device, tapping that button opens up the camera. It lets you take a picture and sends the image straight into the same scanning flow that we have built out earlier. And now that the app supports both uploads and real-time photo capture, the next steps are handling saving and exporting. Once the document tools start coming together, the next thing that most people will look for in our app is a way to take their files out of the app. Now, nobody wants a scanner that only keeps everything all locked inside of it. So the goal here is simple: give users a clean way to save their scanned documents as real files like PDFs, JPEGs, PNGs, whatever they need for work, school, or personal use. And for us to make that happen, this is what we're going to tell Base44. Add save and export functionality with multiple format options. Create buttons for save as PDF and other file types. When clicked, generate the file in the selected format and then save it to download. Apply this to the saved documents. And with that, Base44 handles all of the setup, and once it's done, the export buttons appear right here inside the document viewer. And after testing it, as you can see, everything works out pretty smoothly. Here you can see that I am reopening the same scanned document from the history tab. I'm going to choose the PDF option, and the browser instantly downloads the file for me, exactly the way a real scanner app should behave. Now, before we can hand everything over to Despia for packaging and App Store submission, there is one quick adjustment that we do need to make inside of Base44, because the app currently requires users to log in before accessing it. But for Despia to load it properly, it needs to be fully open to the public. So we're going to switch that setting off. To do that, we need to open the Publish menu here in the top right corner of Base44. Inside of our settings, there's an option called Public Access, Login Required. All I have to do is simply uncheck Require Login to access, then publish the app again and copy the new public link. Now, once that's done, the project is officially ready for Despia. Now, this link is what Despia uses as the app starting point. So from here on out, we can move straight into the setup and submission steps. Starting the Despia setup can look a little intimidating at first, but once you understand the flow and a lot of it repeats, it's actually really straightforward. Think of this step as moving your finished Base44 app into its App Store packaging area. Everything we do here is simply prepping Despia with the information and the visuals it needs before it can build the iOS version for us. So to begin, let's head on over to Despia's website and create a brand new app project. This is where the app will live while we get it ready for App Store Connect. So let's go ahead and give our project a name. And for this part, anything works here, but for this build specifically, I'm going to use Document Scanner Pro. In the field labeled Web App Store URL, we just simply need to paste the public link we copied from Base44 earlier. And that link tells Despia exactly where the live version of our web app is located. And once the project is created, I'm taken to the dashboard here. And the first thing we need to do is scroll through the sidebar to find app icon and branding. Despia needs an iOS icon before we can move forward. So let's go ahead and upload a 1024 by 1024 image. For this demo, I'm just using a blank white canvas, but normally you do have to upload your actual app icon. And right below that, Despia also needs a splash screen. So we are going to upload the GIF in the splash screen layout section here. For this next part, everything starts to feel real because connecting your Apple developer account is the point where Despia gains permission to actually publish your app to the App Store. Now, it might look technical at first glance, like I said, but the process is really just copying a few IDs and uploading one file. So to begin, we'll begin by opening the right side panel inside Despia and looking for build history. And from there, let's hit the Deploy Build button, which opens the deployment sidebar. This sidebar is where Despia collects all of our credentials that it needs from our Apple developer account. Okay, so after the panel opens here, let's scroll down until we can see Build Configuration. Click the option for Development Team, then choose to add a new team. Doing this automatically opens the Connect with App Store Connect panel, and that's where we enter every required Apple credential. We will now start by generating the API key ID and the P8 key file, since Despia needs those to authenticate securely with Apple servers. To do that, I just go to the App Store Connect API page and I create a new API key. I can name it anything, but again, for this demo specifically, I name it Document Scanner Pro Despia. I'd assign the key to App Manager role, I generate it, and then I'll copy the key ID. That key ID is pasted directly into the Connect API key field inside Despia. I also download the generated P8 key file, then upload that file back into Despia in the same section. Next up is the Account Issuer ID. For that, we can just stay on the App Store Connect API page, then where the Issuer ID is displayed right at the top of the dashboard. I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna paste it into its field inside Despia. Finally, we need to gather the Development Team ID. So let's go ahead and go to the Apple Developer Account Resources page, and at the top right corner of the dashboard, I can see here my Team ID displayed. So let's copy that value and then just paste it back into Despia as well. Now, once all those three fields, the API key ID, the Account Issuer ID, and the Development Team ID are filled in and the P8 key file is uploaded, let's click Link with Apple, which is the purple button at the bottom of the panel. Despia processes the details, and once the link is successful, we'll return to the Build Configuration dropdown and then select the development team that we just connected. After accomplishing that, Despia is now officially linked to the Apple Developer account. Everything is authenticated and ready for the next stage, which is going through the build requirements. After the Apple Developer account is linked, Despia immediately shows us a list of identifier targets that we need to configure before any build can be submitted to App Store Connect. Now, this is the part that usually intimidates most first-time developers, but really it's just a checklist, as you'll see. Each item needs its own identifier inside your Apple Developer dashboard, and Despia walks you through exactly which ones to create. Now, the first setup we will handle is the app bundle, which acts as the main identity of your entire application inside Apple's ecosystem. To create it, I'll open the Apple Developer portal and I'm gonna head on over to the identifier section. From there, we'll create a new identifier and select App ID. In type, I'll choose App and continue. Despia already generated a bundle ID for this project earlier, so I'll just paste that value into the bundle ID field. Now, for the description, I'll enter the app's name, in this case, Document Scanner Pro. Apple also requires that we enable specific capabilities so the app can function correctly. So for this specific project, I will enable App Attest, App Groups, Associated Domains, iCloud with CloudKit support, and push notifications with broadcast capability. Now, once all the required capabilities are selected, we can now continue and finalize our registration. After saving, the new app bundle identifier now appears in the list, confirming that the main identity for Document Scanner Pro is officially set up and now ready to be connected back to Despia. The next identifier we need to set up is the One Signal target, which handles push notification functionality in our app. Now, I'm going to start by going back into Despia and copying the push bundle ID assigned to the One Signal target. Then we need to return to the identifier section of my Apple Developer account, and I'm going to create a new identifier, just like before. So I'll choose App ID, select App, and paste the One Signal bundle ID into the bundle ID field. Now, for the description, I'll label it clearly as Document Scanner Pro One Signal, so I can easily recognize what this identifier is tied to later on. Once the base details are set, we need to enable the capabilities required for push notifications to work properly. This includes app groups, associated domains, and push notifications with broadcast capabilities. After continuing and registering the identifier, it now appears as part of the account. Now that the OneSignal app ID is created, the next step is to build its corresponding app group. So I'm going to create another new identifier here. I'm going to choose app group and paste the push app group ID that Despia provided here in the description. Of course, I'm going to name it Document Scanner Pro OneSignal app group so that it's very clear to me that this group is linked specifically to the OneSignal target. After registering it, the new group is ready to attach. So to finish the setup here, we'll go back to the OneSignal identifier. We're going to scroll down to the app group's capability, and then we are going to choose configure. Inside the configuration panel, let's select the app group that I just created and then save the update. And with that, the OneSignal identifier and its app group are now properly connected, and the notification framework is fully prepared for the final build. So setting up the app clip target is a little different from the previous identifiers, but the overall flow will still feel familiar. So we'll start by going back into the identifier section in my Apple developer account and creating a new identifier. Just like before, I'm going to choose app ID. This time, Apple gives me an extra option, so I'll select app clip on the next page here. In the parent app ID field, let's pick our main bundle ID, Document Scanner Pro. So the system knows that this clip belongs to the full app. For the product name, I will simply type clip, then move forward to the description and label it, again, of course, Document Scanner Pro app clip to keep everything organized. Next, let's enable the capabilities required for the app clip to function properly, namely app groups, associated domains, and again, push notifications. After confirming and registering, the app clip identifier is now officially created. So from here, we will repeat a familiar step, building the app group for this target. I'll create another app group identifier. I'm going to name it Document Scanner Pro app clip app group, and then paste the clip app group ID provided by Despia into the identifier field. After registering it, the group becomes available to attach. Now, to wrap up this part of our setup, let's open the newly created app clip identifier and then scroll down to the app group's capability. I'll click configure, select the app clip app group I just made, and then save everything. Once that's done, now both the app clip identifier and its dedicated app group are now properly connected, and the app clip target is ready to be included in the build process. So for this next one, the share target setup is pretty quick, but it is still something we have to wire up correctly so that Despia and Apple stay in sync. So let's start by grabbing the share target bundle ID from Despia, then heading back into the identifiers page in my Apple developer account to set up a new entry. I'll pick app ID, choose app, and paste the bundle ID so everything lines up. For the description, I am going to label it again, of course, Document Scanner Pro Share Target. Nothing fancy, just something that clearly tells me what this ID is for. Now, since this target only needs one capability, let's turn on app groups and register it. After that, we need to switch back to Despia for the group ID that pairs with this target. So we'll create a new app group identifier in Apple's dashboard. We're going to name it Document Scanner Pro Share Target App Group. We're going to paste in the ID and save it. Once the group exists, all that's left is connecting the dots. To finish things off, let's open up the Share Target identifier I created earlier. We're going to scroll to the app group section here, hit configure, and select the app group that I just made. And now we can save the update, and that's it. The Share Target is officially linked and ready to go. Now, the Smart Widget setup is the last of the smaller configuration tasks, and it follows the same general pattern that we've been following so far. But I'll walk you through it cleanly so that nothing gets missed. So let's begin by copying the Smart Widget bundle ID from Despia, then heading back into the Apple Developer Identifiers page to create a new app ID. Here, I'm going to choose app, paste the bundle ID into the correct field and name it Document Scanner Pro widget so it's easy to recognize later on. And since this widget only needs app groups, I'll enable that capability and register the identifier. Next, we'll switch back over to Despia to grab the group ID that pairs with this target. And with that copied, we can now return to the identifiers page and create a new app group entry. In the description, I am going to label it again, Document Scanner Pro widget app group. I'm going to paste the group identifier and register it. That gives me both pieces, the main identifier and its corresponding group. To finish the setup, we need to open the widget identifier that we created earlier and go to the app group section. We'll click configure, select the widget app group that we just created and save everything. And once that's done, the smart widget target is properly connected and ready for use. And with that, another required target is checked off of our list. So once all the individual identifiers are created, it's time to tie everything together. And this part is basically about just making sure the main app bundle knows about every app group that we've set up. So let's open up the identifiers page in the Apple Developer Dashboard and then look for our primary bundle, the Document Scanner Pro, the very first one that we created. Inside of its settings, I scroll to the app group section and hit edit. A modal pops up showing every group that we've built so far, and I simply check all four of them: the one signal group, the app clip group, the shared target group, and the widget group. After saving, the configuration is complete and the bundle now recognizes every connected feature. Good job so far, right? And with that out of the way, I'll move over to the App Store Connect to actually create the app project that will receive our build. In the app section, I choose New App, set the platform to iOS, enter the name Document Scanner Pro, and select English as the primary language. Now, for the bundle ID, I'll choose the same one that we just finished configuring. The SKU can be anything unique, so writing the name in all caps also works fine. Since the exact app name is already taken, I will slightly adjust it to Document Scanner Pro-Scan It, which is completely normal because thousands of apps get registered every single week. After creating the app, I go to the app information page and copy the Apple ID assigned to it. Now back here in Despia, scroll down the right sidebar and paste that Apple ID into the App Store App ID field so that Despia knows exactly where to send the build. Now at this point, everything is connected and ready, and all that's left is to hit the Publish Project in Despia. And that starts the build process, generates the .ipa, and sends it directly to the App Store Connect. Now, depending on the size of the project and the configuration, it can take a bit to finish, but once it does, Despia marks the build as successful. And that means our app is officially ready for the final submission steps. Now, submitting an app to the App Store always comes with one last round of details to fill out, and this is where most people slow down. Not because it's complicated, but because Apple is very specific about what needs to be provided. So in this final part, we're going through all of those requirements so that our build we're doing together, just sent from Despia, can actually be reviewed. Now, before we touch anything inside App Store Connect, we do need one important requirement ready: a privacy policy URL. So every app, no matter how simple, needs a privacy policy. So the first thing we're going to do is generate a basic policy that we can link to. Let's head over to privacy policy generator.info, select the app option and run through the setup. If this is a full production release, you do need to answer each question based on how your app handles user data. But since this is just a demo build, I'll keep everything simple here and mark data collection questions as no. Once the policy is generated, we can just copy the link, and that's the URL we're going to plug into App Store Connect in the next steps. Since the privacy policy link is now ready, I'm going to head over to App Store Connect and then open up the distribution section for the app. Now, this is where we'll fill in all the details Apple needs before a build can move forward. I'm going to start here by uploading the required screenshots, 3 for iPhone and then another set for iPad. These don't have to be perfect for the demo here, but for a real release, you do want clean visuals that do represent the app accurately. So next up, I'll set the basic store information. For the promotional text, I'll use Document Scanner Pro -scan it, and the description will read Document Scanner Pro is a simple document scanner application. Under keywords, we're going with scanning files and documents to help with App Store search. For the support URL, I'm going to just paste in the privacy policy link that we generated earlier. I'll also set the version number to 1.0.0. This has to match the configuration in Despia, and add the copyright line Document Scanner Pro. After that, I'll scroll down and I'm going to choose the build that Despia submitted. In the app review information section here, we're going to turn off the sign in required option since our app doesn't use authentication. Now, for apps that do require a login, this part will be different. So that setting depends entirely on the project. And once everything is filled out and double checked, of course, I'm going to head back up and hit save to lock everything in so we can move on to the final submission steps. After saving the distribution details, we can now move over to the app information section. Now, this is where we fill out some of the general metadata for the App Store listing. And I'll start by adding a subtitle, and for this project, we are using Your Daily Companion. Next, I'll choose the app's categories. So for this demo, health and fitness works just fine, but remember, this will always depend on the type of app that you are building. After that, we'll set the content rights to no, since the app doesn't use or collect any third-party content. Apple also requires an age rating review, so I'm going to go through the questionnaire here and select no for each item because our app doesn't include any sensitive or restricted material. And once everything is filled out, I'll click save so we can move on to the final steps. I promise you, final for real. And after that, we'll head on over to the pricing and availability section. And this part is pretty quick and easy. I'll just add the pricing for the app and set it to $0.00 since we are releasing this app as a free app for the demo. Once the price is selected, I'll just review the country and region list that Apple shows me, and I'm gonna confirm my selection. Next, we'll set the app's availability. I'm choosing all countries and regions so that the app can be downloaded worldwide once it is approved. After confirming the list, everything here is ready to go and we can move on to the privacy setup. Next, I'm going to set up the app's privacy section, which Apple does require for every submission. I'll open the app privacy tab here, then update the privacy policy by pasting in the link that we generated earlier. After saving that, I'll click Get Started to begin the data collection setup. Now, since our scanner needs access to user images, I'm going to select Yes for data collection. On the next screen, I'll choose image as the only data type because that's the only thing that our app interacts with. And once that's confirmed, I'll walk through the rest of Apple's prompts. I'm going to review everything and then save the configuration. When it's all set, I'll hit publish to finalize the privacy section. For the last and final part of this process, I am going to send the app for review. I'll return to the Prepare for Submissions page here. I'm going to click Add for Review, and once the submission appears in the list, I'll select it and hit Submit for Review. And that is finally it. The app is now officially in Apple's review queue. And that's a wrap on everything from the first Base 44 prompt to the final App Store submission. We've covered every step that you need to build and ship an app with AI in 2026. Thanks for watching with me today, and I'll catch you at the next one. Have you ever wondered how people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month just by building simple apps without writing a single line of code? Well, in this video, I'm going to reveal to you the exact step-by-step process that I use to build profitable apps using nothing but AI tools. And now most people think you need years of coding experience or a computer science degree to create apps that actually make money, right? No, that's completely wrong now. I'm going to show you how to build an app without writing a single line of code. And we're going to build a rock identification app that helps users identify different types of stones and minerals using their phone camera. The app provides detailed information about geological specimens and their properties. And in this screenshot that you can see here, it's proof that apps like this are generating over $400,000 last month from the App Store alone. But here's what I've never revealed on my channel before. I'm not just going to show you how to build the app using the best AI coding tool available right now, where you literally just prompt your idea and the AI builds your entire app. I'm also going to walk you through the complete process of getting your AI built app into the App Store without any of the complicated technical processes that usually stop people. So that by the end of this video, you're going to have everything you need to copy this exact app concept, build it with AI in minutes, and get it live on the App Store. So if you've ever wanted to tap into the app economy, but you always thought it was too technical or complicated, well, this video is going to change everything for you. Let's dive right in. Alrighty, so in this video, we're going to go step by step using Base 44 and Despia. Base 44 to build the app with AI and Despia to easily submit the app to the App Store. I added a special link in the description down below that you can scroll to for both of those tools. Now, before an app can identify anything, rocks, minerals, or otherwise, it needs a solid layout to hold all of its features. So we're starting by putting together the front end. And think of this as setting up the frame of the app before we bring in all the powerful tools. And once the structure is in place, everything else becomes easier to build and easier for the user to navigate. So to get started on all of that, I'm going to give Base 44 this prompt. Create a responsive rock identifier app. First, please build the front end/UI, create a dashboard, history, and settings section, add a nav bar at the bottom, and don't build any functionality yet, just the UI. And Base 44 generates our layout, and right away the app takes shape. A clean dashboard, a dedicated history section, and a simple settings page, all connected by a bottom navigation bar here. It's not functional yet, but visually it already feels like a real app. And here you'll see the UI fully rendered and ready for the next step, which is building out the photo upload interface so that our users can start sending images into the system. The next step is to give the app a way to actually receive images. Since the entire point of the rock identifier is scanning photos, we do need a clean and simple upload flow that lets our users either choose an existing picture or take one instantly with their device. The UI from the previous step is already in place, so now we're just going to build the feature that makes the dashboard interactive. So let's give Base 44 this prompt to set this up. Update the dashboard and build the upload functionality. Also add support for taking photos. Whenever an image is taken or uploaded, show a preview of the image before analyzing. Create an Analyze Rock button to trigger the analyzing function. Only build the upload functionality for now, not the analyzing function itself. After Base 44 completes the update, the app can now handle photo uploads and even take pictures directly from the device. And the moment a user selects an image, a preview appears immediately here, giving them a clear look at what's about to be analyzed. Let's test it out with a simple rock photo, and there you go. That shows everything loads smoothly, and the interface responds exactly the way it should. Again, there's still no analyzing capabilities just yet. That's what we will build next. But the upload flow is now fully working and ready for the AI system we'll add in the upcoming step. So right now, the app can upload pictures just fine, but that only gets us about halfway there, if even. What makes a rock identifier actually useful is its ability to recognize what's in the photo, so it's time now to add the AI feature that analyzes each image and returns detailed information. identification. Moving forward, I am going to ask Base44 to build out the entire identification system. Please build the AI-powered rock identification feature. Utilize your own AI for the functionality. Whenever scanning a rock, show the scanned results in a modal that includes the common and scientific name of the rock or mineral, its basic classification, physical properties, formation process, common location, collecting values, and fun facts. Furthermore, ensure the scanning functionality is advanced as it can analyze the photo from different angles and multiple views. After Base44 finishes building the feature, the uploader turns into a full scanning system. The moment a rock image is analyzed, the app now opens a modal loaded with everything the user needs: names, classifications, properties, formation details, common locations, even collecting value, and of course some fun facts. It's a complete breakdown in just one scan, and it works exactly as intended. We can see here that the results came through, which means the identification system is officially working. At this point, the app can identify rocks really well, but users need a way to keep track of what they've scanned. So the next step is to build a proper saving system, something that lets people store their identified rocks to organize them and then build a personal collection over time. I'm going to ask Base44 to create the full saving and collection management flow with this prompt. Build the saving functionality of the application. Whenever a scan result is saved, allow the user to save it to their collections. Build a new section for this and then make sure there's a nav bar as well. In the collection management, allow the user to save notes, set the location, and other filters that can help the user organize their collection. And once Base44 finishes up with that prompt and generating the update, the app gains an entirely new collection section here. Any identified rock can now be saved and the user can open it later to add notes, tag it, set a location, and also apply filters to keep things organized. It turns the app from a simple scanner to something much more personal and useful. And after testing it with the same sample rock as before, the saved entry appears here in the new collections tab exactly as expected. The editable fields work smoothly and organization tools are already in place. Now this sets us up for the next feature, adding advanced search filters to make collections even easier to navigate. Of course, collections can grow quickly, so this next upgrade is all about helping our users stay organized. And once someone has like dozens of saved rocks, if not more, scrolling through them, everything manually becomes messy. So in order to fix that, we're going to add a proper search bar along with filters that make it easy to sort and categorize entries. I'm going to ask Base44 to build this out using the following instruction. Please build a search functionality for the collection management and create some filters that the user can add to their collected rocks. Allow the users to be able to set some filters as well as to help them categorize their rock collection. Again, after Base44 processes the update, the collection page gets a noticeable upgrade. A search bar appears here at the top and new filter options let users narrow down their rocks based on whatever category they've set, whether that's tags, types, properties, or anything else that they've added. It makes navigation and navigating larger collections feel a lot more effortless. So instead of scrolling through a long list, I can now just type in a keyword or activate a filter and the app instantly pulls up the matching entries. It's quick, it's clean, and makes the whole collection feature feel a lot more practical for everyday use. There's also a fun way to make this app feel a lot more personal, and that's by letting it respond to where the user actually is. Rock collectors in different regions often find completely different minerals, so adding location-based suggestions makes the app feel a lot smarter and more useful right away. Now, to make that happen, I'm going to use this prompt. Improve the app by adding a location-based suggestions widget in the dashboard. Here, it detects the user's location and suggests the most common type of rocks available. And after Base44 finishes generating the feature, the app can now automatically detect the user's location and then adjust its suggestions accordingly. So as soon as permission is granted, the dashboard updates with a list of rocks commonly found in that specific region. It's a lightweight feature, but it instantly makes the experience feel more relevant and helpful. A lot of people who get into rock collecting team don't just want names and labels. No, they want a little bit more. They want to understand what they're actually looking at. So the next feature we're building is a full learning section where users can dive into geology topics, rock formation, mineral properties, and everything else that supports their collecting hobby. So let's move forward with this section by giving Base 44 a prompt that defines how the Learn tab should function and what users should be able to explore. Please create a new Learn page containing educational information about rocks. Make sure it's engaging and thorough with its content, covering different topics and categories. And once Base 44 finishes up generating that update, the app now gets an entirely new Learn tab. It's organized into different topics with clear explanations, making it easy for users to explore geology concepts at their own pace. And the section is also packed with useful context and serves as a solid educational companion to the scanning and collection features they're already using. Now, before we move everything into Despia, there is one last tweak we need to make inside Base 44. Because the app is fully built and all the features are in place, but right now it still requires login to access. Since we want users to open the app freely once it's published through the App Store, I am going to switch that setting off. And then I'll head over to the Publish button in the top right corner of Base 44. And from there, I'll open the Public Access Login Required panel and simply disable the option that says Require Login to Access. And once that's turned off, we can publish the app again and copy the project link. This is the link we're going to use inside Despia for the final packaging and submission. And that's it. Our Base 44 build is officially ready to move into Despia. Next up, we'll integrate everything and prepare the app for the App Store. Alrighty then, so setting everything up inside Despia is what turns the Base 44 project into an actual app that can be published on the App Store. So this step is all about getting the foundations in place. And we're going to start by heading over to Despia's website and then creating a brand new app project. Once the dashboard loads, the first thing to enter is the app's name, which is Rock Identifier in this case, and then paste the web app start URL from Base 44 so that Despia knows exactly which build it's working with. After the project is created, we'll move into the branding setup. In the left sidebar here, there's an app icon and branding section where we upload the iOS app icon. Despia requires a 1024 by 1024 image, so that needs to be prepared beforehand. And for the sake of demonstration, a simple placeholder icon works fine too. After that, we're going to scroll down to the splash screen layout area and drop in the splash screen GIF, which becomes the quick loading screen that our users see when the app starts up. And once those assets are uploaded, the project has everything it now needs visually. And from here, we're going to move straight into linking the Apple developer account so that Despia can handle building and submitting the app properly. After creating the project, the next thing we need to do is link our Apple developer account so that Despia can handle the build and submission process. We do this from the right side panel. Here, I'm going to start by opening the build history section and clicking deploy build, which opens the sidebar where all the connection settings live. Inside the deployment panel, we'll scroll down until we see build configuration. And from there, I'll select the development team and choose the option to add a new team. This opens the Connect with App Store Connect panel, and this is where we enter all of Apple's required credentials. For the development team ID, we will go to the Apple developer dashboard and open the resources page. The team ID appears at the top right, so we'll just copy it and then paste it back into Despia. Next is the account issuer ID. We'll head to the App Store Connect integrations page where the issuer ID is displayed right away. And once we copy that, we'll just paste it back into Despia as well. After that, we have the API key ID and the PA key file. We'll generate these from App Store Connect by creating a new API key. Any name works, but of course, in this build, it's going to be labeled Rock Identifier-Despia. We'll assign it the App Manager role, generate the key, copy the API key ID, and paste it into the Connect API key field in Despia. Then we'll download the PA key file and upload it into the matching field. And once all three pieces of information are in place, we can click Link with Apple, and Despia will connect the account, and after it's done, we'll return to the Build Configuration panel and set our development team to the newly linked account. Now, before we can actually submit anything to the App Store, Despia gives us a checklist of requirements that Apple expects every app to have. And each item in the list, from app bundles to one-signal targets to widgets, represents something Apple needs behind the scenes so the build can pass validation. And the very first item on that list is the app bundle, which acts as the app's unique identity inside the Apple ecosystem. Now, to set this up, we'll open the identifier section in the Apple developer account and create a new identifier. We'll select App ID, choose App as a type, and move to the configuration screen. This is where we paste the bundle ID that Despia generated earlier. Now, for the description, we simply name it Rock Identifier. Next, we are going to enable the required capabilities: App Test, App Groups, Associated Domains, iCloud with CloudKit support, and push notifications with broadcast capability. And once those are turned on, we will continue and register the identifier. After saving, it appears in our list, and Despia will detect it right away, confirming that the main app bundle is now fully set up. The next item in Despia's checklist is the one-signal target, which handles push notifications behind the scenes. And to set this up, we start the same way as before. In the Apple developer dashboard, we create a new identifier and choose App ID App. Then we take the push bundle ID from Despia and paste it into the bundle ID field. For the description, we label it clearly so it is easy to recognize later. So, for example, Rock Identifier One Signal. Once the identifier details are in place, we enable the required capabilities: app groups, associated domains, and push notifications with broadcast capabilities. After that, we continue and register the identifier. And with the one signal app ID created, the next part is setting up the matching app group. We create a new app group identifier, paste the push app group ID from Despia, and name it something like Rock Identifier One Signal App Group, so it is obvious what it belongs to. After registering the group, we return to the one signal identifier we created earlier. Under the app group's capability, we click configure and attach the group we just set up. And once the changes are saved, the one signal target and its app group are fully linked and ready to use inside of Despia. Now, setting up the app clip target is a little different from the earlier identifiers, but the overall flow stays familiar. So this time, when creating a new identifier in the Apple developer account, we will start under App ID, but on the next page, we pick App Clip instead of the regular app option. Since an app clip must be tied to the main app, we will select our primary bundle ID, Rock Identifier, as the parent app ID, then name the product simply Clip. Before registering it, we do need to add a clear description like Rock Identifier App Clip and enable the capabilities this mini version of the app needs, namely app groups, associated domains, and push notifications. Once everything is set, we continue and register the new app clip identifier. After that, we will create the app clip's dedicated app group, and just like before, we need to grab the clip app group ID from Despia, paste it into the identifier field, and name it something easy to track like Rock Identifier App Clip App Group. After registering that, the final step is connecting the group back to the app clip identifier. Inside the app clip settings, we open the app group's configuration and attach the group we just created. Now, at this point, the app clip and its app group, they're fully linked together and ready for Despia's build process. For the share target setup, we're handling another small but important identifier that lets the app receive shared content on iOS. To start, we will take the share target bundle ID from Despia and create a new identifier inside the Apple developer dashboard. Under app IDs, we are going to select app, paste the bundle ID, and add a clear description such as Rock Identifier Share Target. This one only needs app group, so that's the single capability we enable before registering it. And then after the identifier is created, we are going to generate its dedicated app group. Now that part involves copying the group ID from Despia, creating a new app group identifier in Apple Developer, and then naming it something easy to track like Rock Identifier Share Target App app group. Once it is registered, the last step is linking it back to the shared target that we just created. And inside the shared target settings, we open the app group's configuration and attach the matching group. The very last identifier we need to set up is the smart widget target, and thankfully this one follows the same overall flow as the previous configurations. And I'll start by copying the smart widget bundle ID from Despia, then heading back into Apple's identifiers page to create a new app ID. After selecting app, we will paste that bundle ID into the field and give it a clear name. In this case, Rock Identifier Widget, so it's easy to recognize later on. And once the base ID is registered, we can now enable the app group's capability, just like with the earlier targets. Next, we need to create the corresponding app group. So using the group ID provided in Despia, I'll generate a new app group identifier and label it Rock Identifier Widget App Group, so it's consistent with the rest. After saving that, the final step is simply connecting all the pieces. So let's open the Smart Widget Identifier again, go to the App Group section, choose Configure, and add the new group we just created. And once that's saved, the Smart Widget setup is complete, and all of our required targets now have their own IDs and groups properly linked. All the individual identifiers and app groups are finally set up, so the next move is pulling everything together under the main app bundle. And we're going to head back into the identifier section here in the Apple Developer Dashboard and open the primary bundle, the very first one we created for Rock Identifier. In the app groups area, we'll hit edit and check every group prepared earlier. That's one signal, app clip, share, and widget. After saving those changes, all targets are properly linked to the main app. And from here, we're going to register the project inside App Store Connect. In the app section, we'll create a new iOS app. The details are pretty straightforward. The name is Rock Identifier, the language is set to English, and the bundle ID selected is the main one from earlier. For the SKU, writing the name in all caps works perfectly. After clicking Create, the app container Apple needs is now ready to go. Inside the newly created app information page, we'll copy the Apple ID assigned to this app. And then back in Despia, we'll paste that value into the App Store app ID field so that everything syncs correctly. And after that, we're going to publish the project from Despia, which starts the build process and automatically sends the generated IPA file to App Store Connect. Now, the upload may take a bit depending on configuration, but once the build appears in Apple's list, that confirms the submission step worked successfully. All right, so reaching this stage always feels like the home stretch. We're almost there. The app is built, the features are done, and the Despia build is already uploaded. And now it's just a matter of getting everything Apple needs before they can actually approve it. And this part is not complicated, but it does involve a handful of small requirements that we'll have to walk through one by one. And once those are set, the app is officially ready for review. And the very first thing we need to take care of is the privacy policy. We're going to generate one using privacy policy generator.info. I'll select the app option and go through the form step by step. In a real production release, the answer should accurately reflect how the app handles data. And since this project is only a demo, I am going to keep things simple and selecting no for the data collection questions. After the policy is generated, I'll just copy the link so we can use it later during the submission process. Once the privacy policy link is ready, we can now move over to the distribution page in App Store Connect. This is where we upload all the assets Apple requires before a build can be reviewed. And I'll start by dragging in 3 iPhone screenshots, followed by the iPad versions. Now, these don't need to be the final design shots for the demo, but in a real submission, you should have clean, accurate screenshots that show your core features clearly. And after the images are in place, I'm going to fill out the basic metadata, the promotional text set to Rock Identifier, scan it, a short description that says Rock Identifier is an AI-powered rock collecting app, and some keywords like scanning, rocks, hobbies. I'm also going to paste the privacy policy link into the support URL field so that Apple can access it during review. Next, I'll set the version number to 1.0.0 to match the configuration from Despia and add the copyright label Rock Identifier. And once all that's done, let's scroll down down and select the build that Despia submitted earlier. There's a quick setting under App Review Information for apps that require a login. And since this demo doesn't need authentication, I'm just going to uncheck the sign in required box. Now, if your app actually needs sign-in functionality, you can leave this enabled and provide credentials. After reviewing everything one last time, let's head back to the top and hit save. Next, I'm going to open the app information section to fill out the remaining details Apple requires. I'll add a simple subtitle that says scan your minerals, and I'll choose categories that also match the app. Education and lifestyle work well for this type of project. Since the app doesn't collect any personal data, we'll set the content rights option to no. The age rating questionnaire comes right after that, and since the app has no sensitive or explicit content, I'll go through the list and select no for each question. Once everything looks correct, we can now save the changes to lock in the app's information. Next, I'm going to take care of the pricing and availability settings. Now, this part is usually pretty quick, but it's still important because it determines who can actually download the app once it does go live. And since this project is meant to be completely free, I'll add a pricing tier and set it to $0. After that, I'll double check the regional pricing overview just to make sure everything looks right before confirming it. After that, I'll set the app's availability. I'm going to choose all countries and regions so anyone, anywhere can download it without restrictions. After confirming the full list, the app is officially marked as free and globally accessible. And this wraps up the pricing and availability setup and gets us one step closer to submitting the build. Now, privacy setup is one of those steps that feels small but stops a lot of people during their first App Store submission, because Apple wants to know exactly what kind of data your app touches, even if it's something as simple as images processed on device. Since our rock identifier works with photo uploads, we'll need to fill this out properly before we can move forward. And from here, I'll head into the app privacy section and start by adding the privacy policy URL we generated earlier. After saving that, I'll click Get Started to go through Apple's data collection questions. And since the app analyzes photos, I'll select yes when asked whether the app collects data. On the next screen here, I'll choose image as the data type because that's the only thing this app interacts with. After stepping through the remaining questions and confirming everything looks correct, at least to me, I'm going to go ahead and save the setup. Once all the privacy information is in place, I'll just hit publish to finalize the section. Now, setting the app in for review is the very last checkpoint, and after ensuring that everything is filled out and saved, we'll head back to the Prepare for Submission page. And from here, we need to click Add for Review, choose the build we just configured, and submit it. And that's all it takes. Our Rock Identifier app is officially on its way to Apple's review queue. And that's a wrap on all of that. The app is officially built, it's packaged, and it's submitted. This is exactly the kind of workflow that people are using to actually make money building apps in 2026 without writing a single line of code. Now, if you can map out an idea and guide the AI, you can ship real products. Thank you for investing your time here with me today, and I'll catch you at the next one.